You are listening to episode 39 of the Peaceful Mind podcast. Welcome to the Peaceful Mind podcast, a place for creating the peace of mind you need to be the best mom you were created by God to be. If you want to bring more balance, more joy, and more peace to your motherhood, this is the place for you. I'm your host, certified life coach and Catholic mom, Danielle Thienel. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, let's get started. Hey there, my sweet mom listeners. How are you? Welcome to the podcast and episode 39. I'm so delighted that you are here and excited about today's topic. And if you will allow me to mention before we get started a request I have that would delight me even more, and that is to know that you are enjoying what you are listening to and hopefully benefiting from what I share here on the Peaceful Mind podcast in a way that you are so moved to take a moment to subscribe, rate, and the most delightful of all for me, to leave a review. I promise you that your kind action of doing this on the app you are using to listen to me, that you will be helping me reach more listeners from your few minutes of time it takes to do so. And that kindness will come back to you in wonderful ways. How do I know this? Because Luke chapter 6 tells us, "Give, and it will be given unto you." To even connect my request to today's topic, I want you to know that I will be visualizing you all going to rate it and add a review, and I'll hold that picture in my mind with such gratitude. Now, let's dive in and get started on visualizing your dream life. Seriously, how fun is this going to be? I think of you all listening to my voice right now and how you don't need to actually see me or watch me or demonstrate me visualizing, because just by listening to my thoughts and how I deliver questions to you, which has you using your brain and your mind to process those words and questions, you will then form a picture in your mind, one that pertains to all of your individual circumstances and situations in your life. For example, when I say the word beach, you can picture the water, sun, waves, etc. And if I ask you, what is your favorite chair? You will think about it out of all of your chairs that you have. You'll choose one in your mind, and then by seeing it, like by seeing a picture of it in your mind, that is the same process of forming the picture. In other words, visualizing your ideal, your highest desire, your dream. And then if you decide to hold on to that picture, that's what will create it for you in the future of you having that ideal situation, that dream scenario. You'll have it be a reality for you. Yes, it's so fun for me to think about how I can help you do this for yourself. Right now, as I coach your mind through the process of visualizing your dream life, you'll begin computing something that you didn't before. You'll be creating something you might not have already currently been thinking about, and it hasn't been on your radar, but now it will be. So the creation process will have begun, and you'll tap into your creative power to move from where you are right now to where you want to be. And that is how it goes when I help my clients create change in their lives, and how I want to help you today to visualize your dream life, because this is how the creative process begins, right? We are right now, each of us, experiencing different situations in our life. Well, a little side note that I've learned from working with so many moms is that we are actually going through a lot of the same situations, really. But I acknowledge that our circumstances are varied and individual and unique too. But despite that, It's what is available to all of us that I want you to start thinking about and visualizing today so that you can make it possible for you to have, to accomplish, to achieve, or to change. It's all the same. We have the God-given ability to take a thought and make it into a thing. In fact, to have anything in our future that we don't have right now, we must first think about the new thing. We must birth an awareness of it and get the ball rolling to have it. Yes, only one idea, one vision, one phrase of words put together in the form of a sentence that runs through your brain is the beginning of your creative power. And once we know what it is that you actually want to have, want to achieve, what is defined for you as ideal in your dream life, then we put it in the form of visualizing what it is, right? Getting all the details, thinking about it, picturing it, and then we have to hold on to that picture, and we do that by thinking about it over and over again. And then we become so familiar with those details, so much so that it feels believable and true and possible. And then it begins to create such strong emotions in our bodies, probably right in our hearts, because in our hearts is where those seeds of our desires are. So the emotions that we get by thinking about the possibility of having what it is that we want, it creates vibrations, the feelings in our body that compel us, that will drive us into action, moving us into taking action towards getting the thing that we want, that we've been visualizing, that we've been holding in our minds. It'll have us doing the thing, creating the thing, what we wanted so much so. And then you'll now have it. That's how it works. So where I'll ask you to begin today is to see this visualizing your dream life exercise as made up of 3 major steps. And they are, number 1, to picturize, number 2, to prayerize, and 3, to actualize. Now let's talk about each one. Picturize. To picturize is to form a picture, a visual of what it is that we are wanting. So to begin, I ask you moms to answer the question, what is it that you want? Now that is a huge general question, and when your brain is given a general question, it could have you bouncing around with lots of thoughts and not knowing where to begin. So to counter, let's break it down. To figure out what you want, sometimes you have to look at what it is that you don't want or what you don't have right now. And then that sheds a light and makes it more clear on what it is that you do want. So for example, if you haven't been on vacation in a long time, and when you think about not having gone anywhere in a while, it indicates to you a new thought of, I want to go on a vacation. So from knowing what you don't want, you now have found an answer to your question, what you do want. Another way to make it easier for your brain to picturize and focus on what you want is to create for your dream life is to break up your life into smaller categories. Some examples I use are my home, my business, my relationships, my body, my free fun time, my spiritual life, my mental and emotional health. You can have your time as a category, your money as a category. Really, it's up to you on how you want to define the categories of what makes up your dream life and what will help you define the goals to achieve within those categories. So now that you are more specific, you're becoming more specific, with your life in the categories, you can then take each of those categories and ask yourself the question, what do I want? Like, what do I want for my home? What do I want for my physical health? And really, a question is, what do I want that I don't already have right now in those parts of my life? And remember, we are visualizing your dream life. And when we do that, we're not spending our time in the past thinking about what we wish was different. Today's episode is focusing on where you are right now, so it can show you what it is that you don't have right now, but that you do want to have in the future. So when you answer this exercise, get as detailed and clear as possible about what it is that you do want. Because as you think about it, and as you get really focused on the details, you begin to form a picture in your mind. You begin to visualize. You picturize it, what it looks like for you. And then when you're thinking about it, it's going to invoke feelings inside of you. And those feelings, which are vibrations in your body, are so powerful. So let's just take an example. How about you want to start thinking about yourself taking a beautiful trip to the Caribbean? If that's something that you want and you start to think about yourself relaxing there, your feet in the sand, feeling the sun on your face, there's just so many details about it that you could think about. And when you do, you feel the feelings of excitement and relaxation. And that energy feels amazing. And it's from there, from you thinking about the possibility of it actually taking place and happening, it gets you excited. And then it has you wanting to move into action to figure out what you would need to do and all of the details of what you would have to take care of and need to do before it can actually happen. And those details become more clear of what actions you need to take. It would tell you, you need to pick the exact destination. What resort or hotel would you need to stay at? And then you look up the details of that. When would you go? What airline would you take? How much money would you need to save or put aside? See how first having the idea and thought of answering what it is that you want, and then you start to form the picture in your mind, you visualize it, you get really clear about all of the details. And when you think about it, it invokes these emotions in your body. And then those emotions have you figuring out what actions it would need to take for it to actually happen. And then what happens is the reality becomes in your future, you'll be on that beach. But notice how when you first answered the question, what it is that you wanted, and then you started to picture all the details, and then you held on to that picture, and then you felt the good feelings, and then it had you taking the actions, which is necessary to make it a reality. Just notice the similar pattern. And you want to do this for all of the categories that you've chosen. You want to spend some time, right? Getting clear on what it is that makes up your dream life. And then within those categories, what are the things that you want to do and achieve? And then you pick one and you start picturizing it. So here's a personal example of where I used this step to picturize recently. When I answered the question, what do I want? When it came to my home, I had the answer of, I wanted new screened-in porch furniture. At the time, we had had our current things on the porch for about 10 years, and I was ready for a refresh, and I wanted to feel more comfortable, and I wanted to be more excited like when I walked out there, and I wanted to have a newly decorated porch. That's what I had decided. So I began to figure out for myself what exactly I would want the porch to look like. I'd first said to myself, I love the current table, so I want to keep that, but I definitely want new chairs. I like the lighting, but I think I want to maybe spray paint it to change up the color a bit. Something, a little bit more modern, a little bit more updated. I knew that the floorboards could use a stain, and I definitely needed to change out the rugs. They were all faded. And I'm not sure, but I definitely wanted like a different type of furniture, even though I wasn't positive exactly what it looked like. So to get even more clear, so I could picturize what it would look like, I went to Pinterest and I typed in modern outdoor furniture. And I began to just kind of look around and get more clear and gather like the details, what I liked. And I kind of watched that when I looked at the pictures, how did I feel? Did I feel like excited, and did I feel relaxed? And could I picture myself being comfortable on that furniture? So just forming a true picture in my head of what it would look like, the possibilities for my porch. I even took the picturized step of having an online design company take my exact room measurements and a budget that I decided on and the Pinterest board that I had created of what I liked. And then they literally returned to me a visual design. Talk about total picturize. I mean, I had that picture of exactly what it would look like with the things that I had picked out that I would like. And all these new things that I totally loved. And the picture, it was so beautiful. And I could see myself relaxing there. And I loved looking at the palms that were drawn in for my outdoor pots that already existed there. And because of how I felt when I looked at it, it was like total inspiration, total excitement that just drove me into the action of buying the items, figuring out all that it took to get what that picture looked like to be a reality, like having it, buying it, having it deliver, setting it up. And, with all these new things, and now that I have that my porch, it looks exactly how the picture was drawn. And this is just an example. This is how we make things a reality. We first put our mind, especially the form of a clear, detailed picture. And then from there, that brings on those strong feelings that drives us into the actions of actually achieving what we want. So for you, it could be that you want to be at a certain weight, that you want to have a certain amount of money saved, that you want to have your own business, that you want to travel somewhere, that you want to own a new car, that you want to have a big birthday celebration, that you want to send your child to a certain school. You can really have anything that you truly want when you first start to visualize your dream life by picturizing it. Now, for us moms of faith, step 2 will be of much importance to us. Step 2 in visualizing your dream life is after picturizing it, then we move to prayerizing it. Yes, I know. I think I formed and made up that own word, and I'm not sure, but it goes with this exercise, right? That we first picturize and then now we prayerize. When we form the details of what we believe is our dream life, we now want to include God in our plans. Now, step 2 can really come first if you want it to, right? If you want His inspiration to help you come up with what it is that you want. But definitely after you have an idea and have decided what it is that you want, it would be a good time to talk it over with Him. And we do this through prayer. To assure something is worthwhile to pursue, you can first pray about it in the hopes that it aligns with God's will. This picture you are holding firmly in your mind, in your consciousness, is now going to be surrendered over to Him. And that is to say that you want to put the matter in His hands. And you can ask and follow His guidance, especially with the part of how you will need to practice believing in the possibility of what you want and wanting His strength, that you can continue to hold that picture firmly in your thoughts. Continually having daily conversations with Him about it, what it is that you are after, will keep you connected to His divine promptings, having your path lit up, being enlightened in your mind about the best next steps to take, the ones He wants you to take to achieve your dreams. And you want His help along the way. So when you form the visualization of what it is that you want, and then you pray without ceasing along the way, what happens is that you find yourself achieving step 3 of visualizing your dream life, which is to actualize. So we have picturize, prayerize, and now it's actualize. You actualize it, you are conditioning yourself to realize those dreams. You got clear on what it is that you want, and then you invoked God's power upon it, which has you taking the actions of realizing your dreams, of actually achieving them. The mental image that you created and held on to and then prayed about becomes actualized. And really, if you look back on your life and especially look around what it is that you have achieved, that you have right now surrounding you, from how you're feeling to what actual physical objects are in your presence, you will see that that is how everything came to be for you. The creation process starts in your mind with a thought, and that thought creates the feeling when you think it. And that feeling drives you into taking an action or not taking an action, which is also action. And from those actions, you then get a result. You actualize a result. So when it comes to your dreams, those experiences you've yet to have, those things you've yet to own, those successes you've yet to achieve, you only have to get started on 3 steps: picturize, prayerize, and actualize. Within your mind are all the resources needed to live out what you define as successful living, your dream life. The kingdom of God is within you. What this tells us is that God, our Creator, has created within our minds and our hearts all the potential powers and abilities that you need to achieve what it is that you truly want. It just remains for you to tap into and develop these powers. And this is what I help moms like you move towards. Despite all your doubts, fears, and hesitations, you may not fully believe what you are capable of and what's possible for you. But that's okay. That's not a problem, because I do. There are challenges within your mind to overcome before you get to the place where you can fully draw on these mental God-given creation powers with more regularity and more ease. And I invite you to join me for a free call to explore life coaching, which addresses all of these challenges. Let's get you moving into living your dream life. And from today's episode, you know what steps to make that actually happen. You picturize it happening, you prayerize on it, and you take the steps to actualize it. Okay, mamas, peace be with you, and I will talk to you again next week. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Peaceful Mind Podcast. Are you ready to take everything I teach you here and put it to work for your own life? To really learn how to have peace of mind no matter what is happening around you? If so, I'd love to have you as a client. As your coach, this is where you'll get personal and focused time on your own mind using life coaching tools, concepts, and proven life-transforming wisdom, all through a faith-filled lens. To learn more about how we can work together, come on over to DanielleThienel.com. There, you'll see how to sign up for a free coaching consult and learn how to get started. Until next time, peace be with you always.